health and wellness with the world's greatest recovery tools company. I'm so excited to be sharing with you guys today that we are releasing our newest product, the AllevaRed Pro red light therapy belt. So not only do we have red light therapy, but we also have the infrared light therapy. We are streaming live right now on YouTube as well as Facebook. And so I want to hear from all of you that are listening in about what you're excited about receiving. We are looking to be giving one of these products away here in the next week. You'll probably get one of those opportunities coming your way. We always try and give away some of our newest products to those of you that are listening in and staying involved with the up and becoming products that are becoming more and more innovative in your daily self-care routine at home. So if you can give me an idea of where you're listening in from, we are on Eastern Standard Time here in Indiana, and it is blazing hot out here today, high humidity levels. And I want you to remember that although it's really hot outside, we're always looking for ways to heating the inside of our bodies in order to continue to recover into the direction of finding the best version of yourself possible. I like to say aging younger, if you will. And so today, we've already had our original AllevaRed light therapy belt out. Today, we are coming out with the Pro version. And I want to be able to compare the two of these products with you because we've been testing them here in our facility here. I run a medical-based private practice in which we specialize in instant pain relief. Instant pain relief that we are able to teach our clients how to use these residential use products from the convenience of their homes so that we can maximize our treatment sessions every time that they come in to see us. If they're doing the little things on the side, then they get to see us a little less often, or they get to maximize their sessions with us so that we're able to truly tap in to how the connective tissue and the mind and the body are all healing from the inside out. And the greatest form of deep heat therapy is going to be with your infrared and your, whether it be near infrared or far infrared, as well as your red light technology, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm seeing that some of you guys are chiming in. Let's see who we got here listening in. We've got some individuals from Facebook. Super excited to see you. I see Bonita Springs, Florida, and very, very hot Texas. Okay. I can't complain because I thought that it was hot here. It's like in the 90s with super high humidity. I cannot imagine how bad it is in Texas. So I'm going back on my comment about how miserably hot and humid it is here because it's really not that bad. But my heart goes out to you, Texas, because I'm sure it is very, very hot out there. And then we've got Brenda Barker here from California listening in. And you gifted your son the knee wrap, which is our biotherapy knee wrap device. Is very similar to what this is. And so I hope that he is enjoying that. We have so many great red light therapy products that are out and available right now. I'm really excited to introduce this one to the lineup because we have so many neat benefits that work with the AllevaRed Pro that's different from the original AllevaRed. We're going to talk about that, but also the levels of intensity are just a little bit different for each one of these. And so we're going to kind of compare the differences back and forth so that you can decide whether you need to have the up and becoming latest and the greatest so that you can take care of that back pain, that shoulder pain, that neck pain. You can eliminate some of that stubborn fat that we can't get away from our waistline. That's what red light therapy and infrared light therapy are all really good at. One other thing that I'm wanting to share with you all today is how the Lifepro power bank can be utilized so that you don't have to rely on a plug-in in your wall in order to be able to utilize this on the go. So let's say that you're going on a car ride. I just got back home from Chicago last weekend. I worked in Chicago for 5 days using some of our products, but working out of a hotel room, kind of setting up a treatment space while I was working with some of the world's greatest coaches. And so I thought my car ride is only going to be maybe 3 hours and 45 minutes, but I hit construction traffic and then it slowed that traffic way down to like 20 to 30 miles an hour on an interstate. Like, not good. Not good. Why? Because I have been in 6 car accidents by now in my life, you guys. 6. The last one darn near killed me. And that's how I know so much about what I know is truly like learning how to rehabilitate from the inside out through innovation, technology, and getting away from the traditional Western medicine model, which is still good when we're integrating, but we can't stay there all the time. We have to be able to incorporate some of these other holistic natural therapies in order to bring out the absolute best in ourselves. So as I'm driving to and from Chicago, it took me 5 hours. So it took me an extra hour and 15 minutes because of construction. And when you're sitting any longer than 15 or 20 minutes at a time, our body starts to change how the viscosity of our lymph and our hydration levels transfer through our connective tissue, which is also made up of collagen and water. And if our body tends to slow the viscosity of that fluid down because we're not moving, remember, movement is medicine and motion is lotion, right? So when we start slowing down movement, then we start to run into the problem of our connective tissue being more glued and pasted together. So that natural jello, happy, hydrated tissue starts to turn more to like sticky honey or peanut butter. And then it starts to glue. And then we find ourselves feeling really stiff. And then we get out of the car and we're like, oh, okay, got to be able to move again. And then we're like, man, why does my back hurt so much? Or why do I have a bad headache? Or why does my shoulders hurt so much? And it all comes back to because our body has to stay moving or it has to stay warm. And so one of the secrets or the tips and tricks when I am moving around with doing things in my car is constantly shifting in the seat. So I'm like, might be leaning this way, might be leaning that way, might be moving this arm behind me to stretch while I'm continuing to drive. Might be rotating my legs in and out with cruise control on. There's a lot of different ways in which we can work. I might actually sit a little further in front of the steering wheel instead of cheat on back, but I like to go both ways. So we just get into a variety of different positions. I work with pilots. When you're working with a pilot and they have to stay in the cockpit of a plane for 10 hours straight through, just trafficking back and forth in between the airport for their connections. But for the most part, they stay in the same small captain's chair with their harness on. And so I actually teach those pilots how to move in their body, like just sitting there, like how do we roll the back, open up, look behind, little positions in order to stay fluid and staying moving. And so if you don't have the ability to do that, you happen to be in the back of the car while you're riding along, or maybe you're in flight, maybe you're one of those passengers that the pilot is flying around, you can actually put this on around your waist and create nice, soothing infrared and red light therapy to your low back, which actually keeps things very calm. So it's very, very therapeutic as to how you can use it, not only for treating pain as it has started to set in or stiffness and tension as it is setting in, but also using it on a preventative measure in utilizing it when you know you're not going to be able to move a whole lot and you're stuck in the same position for a long period of time. You're able to position it whether you're traveling, whether you're needing it on a shoulder, you're needing it on a thigh, or you're needing it in a knee, or you're just needing it around a hip. There's a lot of different ways that you can position it so that you can use it to penetrate deep levels of heat using photo wavelength technology so that you can get the best out of your day with your travels and your life with your lifestyle. So what I want to talk to you about, the original one we came out with is the AllevaRed, which looks almost identical to the AllevaRed Pro, okay? The biggest difference is going to be that the AllevaRed Pro has different levels of intensity. They both Velcro and strap around the torso, and they both have the micro light chip therapy. This one's packs a lot more punch than the Velcro. This one has more of a neoprene interior versus the rubber backing. So let me bring this up close to you and in person. So this is our original, okay? And so you're gonna see it's more of a rubber texture, okay? More of a rubber texture, but the light chips are exactly the same, okay? And one thing that I wanted to do, because this one has been used over the last year by a lot of our clients, I'm going to show you, it looks kind of a little foggy or a little dirty. I'm going to teach you actually how to clean this because this has been used many, many, many times. We actually rent these out to our clients to keep at home so they don't have to buy one if they don't want one, if they just want to try it. And so I'm going to show you how to actually clean this because this is a used and abused version of what we are launching today. And this one is nice and clear and clean and brand new, but eventually it's going to look like this. Because if you get the use out of it, you're going to end up seeing how some of this works. So, and I'm seeing Brenda. Okay, I'm seeing your message, Brenda. I'm making a note of it. My backstage team is texting Lifepro right now direct to the very top. So you should get that power bank within the week. If not, make sure and let me know, and I will make sure that you're getting taken care of, because we want to make sure that your customer service is as the expectation that I expect. And I'm usually on a call with Joel every week, or text message with Joel. So if we have any trouble at all with getting what you're looking for, make sure and reach out to me, whether it's through Messenger or you come in and let me know. Make sure and comment and let me know, because we don't know. I don't know what I don't know until you tell me, and I'm always here to help out. And I have a little bit of leverage when it comes to making sure those messages get through. So anyhow, when we're looking at this one, this is more of a soft neoprene. So it's a little more forgiving than the rubber, okay? The other thing is when it comes to, so again, I'm gonna show this really up close, okay? So rubber, and this is more neoprene, okay? They both have Velcro, and you're gonna see on the back of the Pro, it has this really cool looking pattern of infinity and beyond, is what I'm gonna say, infinity and beyond. It's the infinity waves, okay? And you don't see that on the back of this one. Why? Well, because this is the original, and this one actually vibrates. Very, very cool. So not only do you get red light and infrared light, but you also get vibration at the same time. So if you don't want the red light and infrared light, but you want concentrated vibration on your lumbar spine or in your low back or in your shoulder, or wherever it is that you put it, this actually vibrates. So it's really, really cool. I'll show you how this works here in just a moment. Now, when it comes to cleaning these out, there is a zipper that houses the compartment where the chip panel is, okay? And when we take these out, be ever so gentle in how you clean these, because these are attached on the end. So you can't really take this out and move it around. You really don't want to, because on the back side, you're going to see it's connected with a lot of wires. So you don't want to spray anything wet, like an alcohol or a pharmaceutical grade cleaner, or like a commercial grade cleaner. You don't want to spray anything in here, because there's parts, there's like wiring and stuff. Not good when you put certain things in there. But what you can do, in that you're able to clean. So these wires run actually to the panel on the back side that plugs in. So you just have to make sure, if you're loaning it out from friend to friend, just make sure that people keep this here on the outside clean. And if it gets a little foggy here on the inside because of moisture from the outside, then what you can do is you can just take a clean cloth, or you can take a moist cloth with just some water, a microfiber towel, and just wipe that off, just like you're cleaning glass windows. Don't use any harsh chemicals though. But we're going to go through that, and I'll show you how to do that. And you're going to get a brand new spanking clean looking panel in our used and abused version that we've had for about a year. And then these just zip back up. And that's how that works. Now, for the longest time, you would see that I was using one of my generic power banks that was bought off of Amazon. And then Lifepro came up with this brilliant idea that, man, if we're using these power banks that we're able to buy on Amazon, why wouldn't we come up with our own? And why wouldn't we make it stored for lots of power so that you don't have to carry lots of small ones around? Because it gets, when you start taking these devices with you on the road, or when you decide that you want to use them at home and you don't want to have to switch up power banks all the time, Lifepro came out with its very own power bank. And so we're going to demonstrate today how this works. But if you haven't seen this product launched, I launched it several months ago from the inside of the sauna that we have. And so we have our power button here on the outside. We have an input here that we can use, a C-type or a USB, or there's also a different type of input, a different type of plug that you can use for a variety of different things. You charge this by plugging it into the wall. And so your C port is going to plug in here to the top, okay? And then your USB is going to go into the plug, or whatever plug you might have. You don't have to have this specific plug in order to plug it into the wall. You can use, if you have USBs in your house in the outlet that's in the wall, you can use that. If you have an iPhone outlet, you can use that. You just have to have something that connects to a USB, and then you plug this in, and these lights will light up and let you know that it's charging. So let me do that real quick here, because I actually have a plug-in right here underneath of me for my special table. And you'll see, let's bring you a little closer. You'll see that it's giving you a little light show, right? And the little light show lets us know that it's actively charging. And when all the batteries are, or when the battery is completely full, you'll see that fourth light that just continues to blink. That means it is actually full, okay? And then once it's full, then you unplug it and you're good to go. And if you don't want to take the chance of this running on its own, like I said, it does have a power switch. See if close up in person, it just kind of blends in, can barely see it, but it has a power switch on the side. The rated capacity for this is 15,000 milliamps, and it runs, let's see here, its USB output is 5 volts or 2A, and the DC output is 12 volts 3A max, and the type C input allows for 5 volts or 2.1 amp max. Okay, so it packs a punch. We'll just make it easy and understanding that it packs a punch. So let me go back over here and show you how these different things work. But I wanted to make sure we feature that power bank, because it is a very, very handy device to have when you're using stuff that's not related to Lifepro. There we go. And you can use it for all kinds of things that you might have around the house. So with let's get these switched up to where they go. With the AllevaRed Pro, it's going to come with this travel bag. So the original just came with a box, no bag to tag along with. This one actually comes with the bag that you can tuck this in with all the parts that are easy to keep track of, okay? And so what I want to make sure we go through, the other one that makes this ultra special is that it has an expander belt. So if you're having trouble with being able to keep the regular one on because the waist circumference isn't enough for you, the AllevaRed Pro has a circumference of 8 to 43 inches, okay? 8 to 43 inches. But if you're trying to use it on an area, let's say your hips, and you're just not getting enough tightness and you're at the end of the adjustment, then you can latch on the extension and then you can get it a little bit tighter if you want to. And what makes it nice is you can actually double reinforce. So if you like to feel that extra compression, you can actually reinforce it and feel extra compression by reinforcing and wrapping it all the way around, okay? So the extra panel, if I'm just strapping this on like such, so I know I'm up close and in person, but if I open this up and remove, everything's Velcro, okay? This might not be enough compression for me. So if you like having compression, there we go. If you like having compression around the torso, then you can use the extra extensor panel in order to get a little more oomph, like if you really like to feel that extra security. I'm gonna give you a little secret. Years ago, I was in a bad car accident, had to learn how to walk again from 8 spinal injuries. And what ultimately ended up in happening was I ended up in getting this device that had, it's very similar to this, about twice as wide, and it would fill up with ice water at the level of like 33, 34 degrees. And then it also had compression. And the ice was great, but I'll tell you what was more alleviating on my spinal injuries than that was the actual compression. Now, this does not have the pneumatic compression that I used years ago. We used to call this the mouse tail when I was using it years ago, because I always walked around carrying this extra little cord that you would plug into this refrigerated system. But just having the extra compression, like you can just stick it on, wrap it around. It's almost like you're like fastened in a little tighter, which if we have compression back here where we naturally have a little bit of extra pain, it gives those muscles something to push against in order to seek extra relief. So it's a really nice option if you're needing a little more compression around the waist, but you're not wanting to wear a back brace. You don't want to wear the vibration. You don't want to wear the light, but you just want to feel a little extra support, a little extra comfort. You can do that by wrapping that extra extension panel on around the waistline. So it's a pretty nifty add-on. And for those of you who just don't like this on tight at all and you want it loosey-goosey, but you are not able to get it as far down as you want, you can do that. The other thing that makes this great is if you're trying to use it for the shoulder, okay? If we're trying to use it for the shoulder, we can only go so far before I can't strap up, right? So if I put it on the shoulder here, now I can actually use the extra strap. So instead of wrapping it around the waist, you can actually strap this on here and you can bring it back and down and up top, which keeps, we'll have to twist it, which actually keeps it in position, okay? So if you're wanting to use this for the shoulder, we would just put it on, strap it here, bring it around the waistline through here, and then stick it, okay? So that's an easy way to keep this on the shoulder. If you've just had a shoulder surgery and you don't want the ice, but you want the red light and infrared light in order to heal those tissues on a really deep level, you can use this as a shoulder, okay? So that's just an extra little perk that you can use this for. But if you don't have that extra strap, it's really easy for this just to fall off by itself or to shift. So as you know from all the other videos I've done, I enjoy coming up with all these different ways that you can use the same product for multiple different areas so that you don't have to find a way to just use one product for one thing. So you don't have to buy the leg and the back or the foot. Like if you want to buy it for the back and then you happen to have something going on with your hip, or you happen to have something wrong, or the neighbor has a shoulder problem, you can actually utilize this for a variety of different places on the body, okay? So let's go ahead and turn this amazing new belt on. And what I'm gonna do, it does come with a power cord that plugs into the wall. And then from here, we have our handy dandy remote. And so here's our remote. I'm gonna give this to you up close in person. Okay, for those of you who are asking about how does the AllevaRed product benefit internal adhesions from multiple abdominal surgeries, here's the secret. You're gonna make sure you use the vibration platform first because that is the gentle earthquake effect that breaks apart some of those connective tissue strands so that you can actually mobilize that tissue, okay? When we then mobilize, the idea is to create as much collagen fibers as possible to help and improve our overall tone, whether it's in our belly, whether it's in our face. Collagen can be regenerated and can be reproduced through the use of stimulation of infrared light as well as red light. So if you use the vibration platform and just stand on it or you sit on it, and you create that vibration to get the muscles to actually work and to break apart the adhesions with the connective tissue. The connective tissue, anytime that there's an injury, anytime that there's a surgery, there's always going to be tissue adhesions. I can show you a picture of what that looks like here in just a second because I've got multiple pictures of that, but you're going to use it. You can put it over positioning of your belly in order to see, not see, but in order to feel how that warms up that area, which then causes the regeneration of cellular changes or cellular production, which then allows the body to convert them to collagenous fibers and filling in the void where you need it. So it's a great, great trick for doing that. Now, on our remote here, we have, when we're holding up the remote here, we've got 5 buttons, okay? The very bottom one is gonna be your power on and off button. This one over here to the side is gonna be your time on, off. The one up top is gonna be an increase in levels, whether it be intensity of the light or intensity of vibration. And then we have our vibration here. And then on this one over here, it is just switching through the intensity or the levels. So let's go through this and I'll show you how this works in action. I'm gonna plug it in first using the outlet, and then I will convert it over to the USB so you can see it working in all capacities. Okay, so we're gonna plug the C tip here in the top, okay? So it plugs in right there in the top. And we are good. Now, I'm not gonna put it on yet. I'm just gonna drape it here over my shoulder so you can kind of see everything come into life. Now, here's the thing. You don't ever want to look when you're using red light therapy. You don't want to like hold it up to your eyeballs and look directly to it when you're using the heavier intensity dosed bulbs. We're using light chips here, okay? LED light chips. And so you're gonna have a total of 105 LED light chips between the infrared and the non-infrared. When you see this come on, stand by, boom. Now all of them are on, okay? Here's the thing. They're all on, but you can't tell that you're actually seeing infrared light. Why? Because infrared light is naked to the human eye. We can't see it because we don't recognize that wavelength of energy. However, when it comes to the red light therapy, you're seeing right now all 105 of these LED light chips that are lit up at 660 nanometers, and you're getting infrared light at 850 nanometers, all in the same session. Okay. Now, on our buttons here, if we click again, you're going to see a flashing. Okay. Why is that important? When our body gets bored with the same thing over and over and over again, it's like when you see the same thing over and over again, you actually can play tricks on yourself of not being able to see certain things, even though it's always been there from the very beginning. But when we start to see flashing lights, our cells actually respond to that the same way. And there's a tremendous amount of clinical evidence and research studies that say that if you use constant and then go into a flashing, it's catching the attention of those little cells to say, hey, here we are. Let us help you heal. Let us help you recycle. Let us help you regenerate. Let's fill in those little gaps so that we can feel better. And so when we are using this, if you wanted to use it for 5 minutes and then go into 5 minutes of pulsation light, we're flashing back and forth the intensity of infrared and red light therapy, which captures the attention of different cells at different depths. When we are looking at infrared light, we're talking like really, really deep. It's like deepest form of penetration of heat you can use is in a residential level, meaning you can heat as deep as the spinal level because that's how far infrared light goes. When it comes to red light therapy, it's a little more superficial. So you're going to get more on the outside and you're going to get just a little bit beyond those dermal layers. But for the most part, if you're trying to heat really, really deep all the way down to the spinal level, you're going to want to make sure you're using the infrared feature on this. Okay. And so click it one more time and it clicks off. So on, flashing lights, lots of party for those little cells looking for energy, and off. Okay. So now we're on. Now on our on up button, so we have the button up top, which is going up or down. So it's a plus and minus. You're going to see that the light gets brighter and brighter and brighter for a total of 5 different levels. Okay. We are starting right now at a level of 0, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. 5 different levels because we start on level 0. Okay. Now, when it comes to the AllevaRed original belt, it does the exact same thing, but its light intensities at each of the 5 levels is a little less than that of the Pro. So I'm going to turn that on here in just a second, and we will compare the differences of one to the other. As we go into these other little modes, okay, right now, if I push the little zigzag button, that is our vibration, okay? And it's a very, very quiet vibration, so you can't hear it very much. But once we push that vibration button, we're going to push that same vibration button again in order to increase the intensity of 5 different levels. The higher the level goes, the louder it sounds. Still not bad because remember, it's going to be compressing against the muscle and the tissue that you're trying to help out. So just hanging out here, just like it is, you're going to hear it a little bit more because you're not compressing tissue. So the tissue's not absorbing it. It's just free energy, okay? So we want to make sure that we get it on first, and then we turn on the vibration. So there's, let me go back through this again. Okay, it's off now. So if you see a 5-0, that means it's off. There's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. And then you also have your 5 levels of light intensity. So light intensity, vibration intensity, 5 different levels of each one, okay? Now, we also have 660 nanometers, and now you can see it doesn't look like there's any lights on, but there are. Those are your infrared lights. You can't see them, okay? So when you turn the belt on initially, let's start this over. Everything's off, okay? We got to push on, power on. When it says all, as soon as you power on, it is by default going to turn on all 105 LED chips to infrared and infrared light. So if you're wanting to switch that up, that little circle dot on the end, now we're just red light therapy, no infrared light therapy. Now we're infrared light therapy, no red light therapy. And now we're all back to combined technology. So you're getting both at the same time. But remember, when you turn your unit on, it's automatically lighting up all. So you don't have to worry about, man, do I have that infrared light technology turned on or not? I don't know what I see. It's because you can't see it. Okay. So if you feel like you need to go through these and just turn on red, just turn on infrared, or turn on both, you can, just to make sure that you know what you're seeing. But it all happens when you just turn it on. Now, if you're wanting that pulsing technology, then you just give it another little tap, and then they blink, showing a little light show, getting the attention of all those cells, everything's great, and then click off, okay? And everything's turned off. That's how it works. Pretty simple. When you're getting vibration, red light, and infrared light therapy, that is the trilogy. That is the magic trilogy of all of it. Vibration, infrared light, and red light. Great trilogy of all of it. Now, the last thing I want to show you on here, so we turn it on, you got your timer. It goes up in 5-minute increments all the way up to 30 minutes, okay? When it comes to the stubborn belly fat, if you're trying to excite the stubborn belly fat and trying to get it heated up so that you can start metabolizing it and start breaking it away from that connective tissue for metabolizing, then you're going to make sure that you choose at the highest level when it comes to the light intensity. And then, of course, if you want to use the vibration, you can, but I'm just going to tell you, vibration is more for therapeutic comfort and relief. It is not likely going to be enough vibration to rattle that fat loose. So make sure that you remember, if you're putting this on for weight loss, specifically fat loss around the belly region, using the vibration, red light, and infrared light therapy together will make a difference in helping to increase the heat effect to that area, which then increases ATP production, which then allows for the body to start metabolizing that for extra energy. And it's happening at such a slow pace that the body can keep up with it. However, we do not want to walk around our house all day for hours and wear the belt for the point of blasting fat, or you actually can cause yourself some burns. So don't do that. That's not a good idea. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and show you how the USB power bank works. So we take this out, okay, and get all my moving parts here. There we go. So we're going to take our parts, okay. This end here is going to go into this tip right here. So we're going to mate them together like they're a puzzle piece, like they're supposed to click together, because that's what they're supposed to do. And then this USB goes into this USB like that. And then we're going to make sure that we actually turn the power bank on. There we go. And maybe, whoops, let me double check something here really quick. Oh, little secret. You got to tap it first on the outside, plug it in. Now we're live. Now we're on. So let's go through that in reverse so that you can get this right, okay? If the power bank is turned off, so let's go ahead and power off. No lights, no camera, no action, no energy. So light it up so you can see the light show. Take the USB, pop it in the top like it's hot. You're going to see it light up. That means it's getting energy, okay? Energy travels through. We have now the remote that's turned on. Click it on, and now we are experiencing action, okay? So you have to make sure that the power bank is turned on first from its reserve. It might actually click itself off just so that you actually can maintain the energy in the battery without just wasting it, right? So that's how that works. Now, I do not have two power banks, so I'm going to use my outlet power to light this one up at the same time so I can talk to you about the difference between the other two and the light intensity. And what I'm curious from all of you, those of you that already have an AllevaRed belt, I would like to know like what results you're experiencing or what you're using it for. And if you don't already have one and you're needing one, make sure and let me know why you're needing it, because we like to give away stuff. And we like to give away stuff to those who like to participate in our show. So make sure and let us know what makes you happy with our stuff, so that we can continue to innovate to make for better recovery and home health self-care for you. That's really, really important to us. Okay, so now we have both units plugged in, turned on, ready to roll. And so we're going to go through here the differences in the intensity levels. And now I also promised you that I would show you how to clean this up. And right now it is a little on the foggy side. So let me do that really quick so you can actually get a firm understanding from seeing the lights and the colors of the lights. If you hang tight for me for just one moment. Okay, super important is I have two super cheapy towels, okay? These are both microfiber towels, really good for window cleaning, okay? This is a facial towel. It's a microfiber facial towel, got on Amazon, super cheap. I wet it down with just regular water, okay? So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna wipe it down with the water, and then we're gonna use the dry one to wipe it down because we don't want to spray hard chemicals on these or it becomes a really big problem from an electrical component standpoint. So I'm not coming into contact with the chips. I'm just cleaning it here on the top, and you're gonna see the foggy disappear like a magic trick. No harsh chemicals, just water and a towel. And then we take another towel and we just wipe it off nice and easy so that we get the smudges off, all the streaks. And now, again, if you're wanting, now why is that important? If you have a foggy, dirty, clear panel here, do you think that the light can shine through that? It's actually going to be, it's going to be shining through a different intensity of things. And we just want to make sure, now this older one, we can slide the pan out, but we don't want to disconnect it. So I'm just pulling it out to the side, okay? On this one, I believe it's attached, but I'm going to wipe here on the inside in order to get both sides of the plastic protection so that it looks brand spanking new. And if you have something sweaty, if you're sharing it with somebody and they're sweaty and nasty, and you want to take a disinfectant wipe that doesn't require spray, let me show you here right quick. We're just using disinfectant wipe. Okay. Not touching the light chips. Not touching the light chips. Just right here on the outside, just to get the funk off of here. Yep, that's looking pretty nice. And then here on the inside, without getting anywhere near the wiring, so just a little sweep, take our dry towel, wipe it down. Okay, and then we're wiping down here on the inside. And now it's nice and clear and new, and it's nice, okay? Want to make sure we get that nice and dry. And then this just slides back in ever so carefully, because remember, the wires are still attached. So we just want to lay it in there like we're putting $1 in our wallet. We don't want to crinkle the money. We just want to lay it in there nice and tight. And then make sure that you're not catching the top with the zipper, okay? Because there's a zipper compartment here, and it just zips right back up. And now we have ourselves a super clean new panel, brand new. Looks brand new. Okay. Okay, so there's that. And then when it comes to wiping off the rubber or the neoprene, you can use your disinfectant wipe on that, no problem. Just don't get into spraying stuff, because when you start spraying the wires, that's when it becomes a real challenge. And those of you that use nature's type of cleaners that don't have any harsh chemicals, You can use whatever you need to. Just don't spray anything. Just make sure you're just wiping, okay, so that you don't have to worry about the wires. So now that we've got this clean and everything is very similar, this is already nice and warm. We're going to click on. Okay, right now you're going to see on here that there are some lights that are missing, but let me make sure that you remember we use these specifically every single day and have for over a year. These are residential products, so they're not meant to be used in a professional setting, which we are doing. And so even though we have a couple of those light rows that are out, everything is still going to work really, really well. Okay, so when we have all of the lights on, the ones you can't see here, this row here, that's your infrared light, okay? And here's what I want you to see on here, on this remote. On this remote, let me bring it up close in person here. You're gonna see that it's only got the red light on, okay? Only red light on, so that's why you're seeing 2 rows missing. When we turn this one on, it automatically kicks on both at the same time, okay? They have the ability to turn this one on at the exact same time. When I go to click on this button and it switches to the 850, now we're getting infrared in at the same time, okay? And so you can see the difference of intensities, okay? So we're on low level here, and then we also have our timer for up to 30 minutes, okay? So there's the difference on that side of things. Now let me show you working both, okay? Working both. And I'm seeing I have 2 power banks. They turn off after about 5 to 20 seconds. If you don't have something plugged into them, actively draining the battery, they will click off. If you're trying to use it and you don't power it on first, so make sure that you power it on first, and then plug in your device. And then if it clicks off automatically after 5 to 20 seconds and you're not ready for it to click off and you can't work through that, contact our customer service and they'll send you a new one. That phone number for any customer service challenges you might have is 532-456-6063. Okay. Again, that number, you can call it any day of the week, 732-456-6063. Or you can email our customer support line, support@lifeprofitness.com. Okay. Support@lifeprofitness.com. And all of our products have a full warranty, a limited lifetime warranty. So make sure that you scan that QR code with your phone using your camera. And then as soon as you register your brand new product, then they'll send you the massage ball. Now, here's the thing. The massage ball doesn't come fast. It comes actually like turtle pace. It's very, very slow to get those. So don't wonder if we forgot about you. They take a good month before those arrive because they're coming from a different warehouse. So just make sure once we get the QR code scanned and then we fill out that warranty information, you'll have to have your order number. So if you have been gifted the product, make sure that you have the Amazon order number that was used if it was gifted to you, or your online order number, or just call the customer service instead if you have trouble. And again, that number for customer service is 732-456-6063, and they'll get you all taken care of. Customer service is extraordinary. If it's not, let me know, and I will call and rattle some cages, get some people like actively firing away, okay? All right, so let's talk about the differences between these two. The AllevaRed Pro over here, the AllevaRed Original right here. I'm going to start over on both. So we're going to power off. Okay, and we're going to power both on. Okay, when you get your remote out, if you're having trouble, if you're pushing the button, especially on the old one, if you push your button and it doesn't come on, press and hold the button. Press and hold the button, and it will work after you hold it down for a few seconds. Okay. When we're talking about levels of intensity, remember we have 5. Okay. So I'm going to increase the intensity on this one first. The original AllevaRed starts at 0.9 watts. Okay. 0.9 watts for a level, for level 0. Okay. Now on this one, you're going to see it's a lot brighter. Okay. Why? because it's starting at 4 watts. It's a much, much deeper form of red light from an intensity standpoint. So this one is coming in at 4 watts. This one comes in at 0.9. So it's a big difference getting started, almost 4 times the intensity. Now we're going to go up a notch. So this one's brighter. This one is now 4.9, which is really close to this one. Okay. This one is 4.9, and this one is at 4.0 until we go up a notch. We go up to another brightness level. Now we have almost doubled this. So this one on level 1, because our levels start at 0. Level 1 on the Pro is 7.8. Level 1 on the AllevaRed regular is 4.9. Almost double, okay? This is where things start to get a little closer together. Okay, on the original, now we're talking our third level, which is 11.8, okay? On this, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry, my bad. I miscommunicated that. So on our original, our level 2, which is going to be, so let me rephrase this. Level 0 is where we started. So I'm going to go back down to level 0. Level 0 is where we started, 0.9, okay? Level 0. Level 0. So now we're level 0 on both, okay? So this is going to be technically our initial level of intensity, and this is going to be ground 0, level 1, okay? So on the blue, we're talking 0.9. On this one, we're talking 4. We're going to go up to level 1, which is really the second level of intensity. Whoops, wrong button. So now we're level 1 on both, okay? On this one, we have 4.9. On this one, we have 7.8. We're going up to level 2, which is really our third level, okay? Now, third level on our new AllevaRed Pro belt is going to be 11.8. And on this one, our level 3, or a third level, which is L2, is going to be 8.5. So about where we left off on the other, okay, on double this. So we're almost going double at a time until we get halfway through. Now we're talking about on this one, which is our new one, we're going to go up to what's called L3. And L3 on this one is 15.7. Level 2 on this one is 8.5. Level 3 on this one is 12.3. Okay. So 12.3, 15.7. Now we're going to go max out. And so now we're maxed out on both. Okay. On this one, we are at 19.6. And on this one, we're at 16. So here's the thing. If you're wanting to use low intensity red light therapy and you're not quite sure what the range is that you need, if you have no intentions of ever going beyond that 12 level of watts of energy, and you're wanting to use it at a low level on a low level of exposure, but getting the most of your time, you're going to get double out of the gate of this one that you do of this one. When you get to the higher levels of both, they get really close to each other. The highest level on the Pro is 19.6 watts, and the highest level on the original is 16. But when we start, we're getting 4 times the intensity on one as the other, and then we're getting double the intensity of one than the other, and then they start to meet each other in the middle, okay? So that's how that works. Now, on our original, we only have red light and infrared light. We don't have vibration. We don't have extra belt compression. We are able to use USB with both, so you can use the power bank with both. And then let's go ahead and turn on vibration. So we have level 1, level 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can actually hear it if you're standing next to me, but because it's so quiet that you can't hear it in the screen, but I can feel it, and it feels wonderful. So again, if you're wanting some extra reinforcement, you can strap that on a little tighter, okay? Now here's where it can get tricky, but very cool on the same. We have our power pack here, okay? And if we want our power pack to stay put right here in our power bank housing. So there's a little pouch here that you can put that. And then you can take all of your cords, leave the remote here on the outside, but you can wrap this belt around, and the belt will actually contain all of your cords while keeping the remote handy so that you can have access to it. Okay, so I'll show you how this looks up close in person. Okay, so we have our power bank, we have our remote, and we have the strap holding it all in. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, I know what you're thinking. We're coming down to pricing. Off the top of my head, I don't have the pricing of the original available in front of me. I actually didn't look that up because I'm so excited about this new one coming out that I had to share the new one with you. So the newest one, the one we have here, the AllevaRed Pro, is going for $179.99. Okay, and if you use, let's get you all centered here. If you use the code AMBER10, AMBER10, it's going to give you more money off. Okay, so $179.99, and then use your discount codes if you have them. And so that's how we use the power bank. And again, if you decide that you don't want to use the power bank and you just want to sit in the recliner at home and plug into a wall, or if your power bank goes dead and you need to be able to plug in, then you have access to the wall outlet, which plugs in here like such. That's how this one is working right now. It's plugged into a power strip. And then we have the opportunity to plug in. So it works in a variety of different ways for the great benefit of being able to do some different things. Now, let's talk about sizing one more time. When it comes to the size, the whole belt from end to end is 49.6 long, okay? About half as tall as I am, maybe a little bit taller halfway through, okay? So 49.6 inches long, and at its widest point here, where all the lights are, it's 6.9 wide, okay? This one is gonna be about the same. Let me pull the plug here, and let's compare here. So I'm laying them side on side, and they are pretty darn close to identical, okay? So pretty darn close to identical in size. The difference being that the Pro actually is wider, where we actually want it widest. So right in here in our low back, where we tend to feel more pain typically, so right in here, okay? The original, when we strap it on, the original sits right in the small of the back. And if I pull it down as far as I can over my hippies, okay, it's going to fall right mid back. This one's going to come up higher, right in the mid back where you want to feel the most of it. So it's pretty nice. And it conforms with your tushy. So it's not just a straight edge. It actually conforms with a little bit of curve, okay? So it comes up higher in the mid back, and it comes a little bit lower down. So I can actually feel it over my sacral joint right now, as well as in the mid back. You can also see that it's hard to tell the belt from the rest of my outfit because it's got on all black. The AllevaRed Pro is completely black, so it doesn't have the blue outline, okay? So, and again, it comes with the extra long strap. So the belt circumference, if you're trying to measure your waistline, you're going to want to check your waistline for up to 43 inches. But remember, if for some reason your waistline is bigger around than 43 inches because you're swollen, you got lymphedema, you're going through some inflammation that's unusual, you're post-hysterectomy, we always have more fluid, you've already had a child, things aren't shrunk back down. I get it. Been there, done that. So if you are falling in that category and you need a little bit more of an attachment point, this all attaches on Velcro, and you can make this belt much, much bigger around if you have to, okay? Much, much bigger around if you have to. You can put it on like a hula hoop if you wanted to. Just kidding. But point being is you have the ability to put it however you want to. And like I said, if you're wanting to utilize it for something other than what it's intended for, so you're wanting to use it on the shoulder, okay, you can, I showed it originally, oh wait, I showed it on that shoulder. So let's try the other shoulder. So we can strap it around. So here on the underside, bring it across the front like that. And then in order to keep it in position, to keep it from shifting, okay, we're gonna stick it on right here in the midline and wrap it around, and then it'll come right back up here to the top. And it should keep everything close to your body. So if you're walking around the house and doing different things, it's strapped on, okay? Almost looks like a sling. And yes, if you decide that you are wanting to use it for the shoulder and you've got an AC separation and you can't use your arm, you can't hold your arm up to the side, then we can actually put it around like a sling and swath, okay? So we can actually put it on, keeping your arm put there in place, maybe. There we go. You have to be able to wrap it around the elbow and it'll actually hold your arm there. So still have fingers free, but you have the ability to create a sling and swath attachment by using that extra strap around the torso. So when it comes to wrapping it around like a thigh, if you're wanting to get more and more exposure on a thigh, okay, we can do a spiral wrap. So we're going to try and make sure that we get the greatest amount of red light. So if we're dealing with an entire leg, okay, we can run it down the whole perimeter of the leg if we really want to. And then we can get like super creative here and we can strap it on like such. I'm always trying to innovate here. And you might have to have an extra little piece of Velcro, or let's try this. I'm curious to see what we can do with this. My employees love watching me do this stuff because I always come up with these crazy ideas and we never know what we're going to end up with. And it's always a lot of fun to make it up as we go. So, okay, so here we go. So we're going to attach it at the very bottom, okay? And then we can spiral it right behind the knee without it being too much. And then we're going to attach it at the top. And now we have it for a full leg, okay? Full leg, and it stays put, okay? But we should be walking around with this on anyways. So that's an easy way to strap it on if we're trying to get the whole thigh on the front side. Same thing like if you have a hamstring tear, hamstring rupture, or a nasty contusion on the backside, you can do the exact same thing on the backside. So we would just lay it out there and start with our strap again. And let me turn it on so you can actually see it in action. I like action. So we turn the power bank on. Power on. Find our USB input here. Actually, on this one, we have a C input. So got to make sure you have the right cord. Do we have the right cord? I've got too many cords out here. So that's that one. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Okay, so we're going to plug this in first so we don't get confused with all of our cords. That is the remote that turns on the unit. Then, oh, I was right. I do have too many out here. Then we're going to take the one that has a round tip and a USB. Click that in. USB. Once you see the blue lights on the power bank, pop it in the top, and then you'll see that it actually lights up. Boom. There we go. Oh, maybe. Did light up. And then it decided not to light up. It can be tricky from time to time. Make sure I got the right, well, let me make sure I got the right remote here. Yeah. Okay, so we're having a little malfunction here. I might have grabbed the wrong. I've got a couple of different USBs here. There we go. This one actually lights up. So this is the one that goes with. Okay, so click it in, click the power bank on. Ah, we have a blue light. That means we have action. There we go. Okay, now we can put our leg up top, right? Okay, and from here, if we wanted to make this a little easier, so we have to have this backside in order to anchor. And I just kicked it off by accident. Okay, and so we're going to add the time. So there we go. And now we're going to wrap this on from underneath. Wrap it on again, almost like we're making a splint. Okay, and then we're going to angle up around the knee. And now we have it. Okay, so it's on. And okay, we are having some technical difficulties here. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So now we can actually walk around and everything's lit up and everything's happy, and or we can elevate our leg so that we're good. Okay, so I'm going to power that off. We just went through the blinking phase. And so there's a lot of different ways you can use it. If you decide that you want to use it around your waist, you can use it around your waist. You can use it around your back, your shoulders. You can use it along the arm if you've got carpal tunnel inflammation. You can use it along the back side of the arm. A lot of different ways you can use the AllevaRed Pro therapy belt, or the original, the other. But what I would recommend is you get it on first and then plug it in, because it gets a little complicated if you're managing all the cords at the same time. Can we use our reward points to purchase? Brenda, I honestly have no idea. That is a great question, and I'm not on the inside of that policy, so I'm not quite sure of how the promotion works. But I'm sure if I can send a message after the live is over with and find out what they say, because I'm not sure about that. That's a really good question. Now, the AllevaRed original, this one right here, weighs 1.1 pounds, and the new one weighs right at 2 pounds, so 1.98 pounds. So this one weighs a little bit more. Why? Because it actually has vibration. It has vibration, and that makes a big difference. Now, we want to make sure that if we are using these, that we don't want to do any more than 30 minutes at a time, so that we don't end up in burning ourselves. Because believe it or not, you can actually burn yourself by using the red light therapy or infrared light therapy too much. The other thing, this actually happened to a client of mine, and we honestly did not think anything of it, because it was one of those too good to be true moments where it's really going to work. Yes, it's really going to work. And it really did work until she had to start on antibiotics. And then when she started on antibiotics, we had a redness reaction. Let me go up a little bit higher so you can see my head. We had a redness reaction, which is really important to understand, because if you are sensitive, if you're on an antibiotic that is light or photosensitive, red light therapy and infrared light therapy are forms of photon light wavelengths. So even though it's not being outside in the sunlight, it still is a type of wavelength technology. And so we have to make sure that if we are using red light therapy while taking antibiotics, that we are testing it on an area on our body first, just to see how we handle it, because we don't want to leave it on for 30 minutes and we have like a scar or an area or a rash that we're trying to help out. Because red light therapy is really good for inflamed skin. It's also really good for open wounds, as long as you're not making direct contact with, but you can radiate away from. So you can set the red light therapy belt up and actually set yourself up. Let's say I've got a scratch or a cut on my thigh or blisters. Okay, let's say I've got something going on out here that we're trying to calm down from inflammation. We can actually just leave that there, not touch my leg, and whatever inflammation or cut or scrapes or bruising, really good for bruising too, whatever we have there, we just allow it to get some of the light wavelength, almost like radiating into my tissue, and then it actually helps in alleviating it faster. But if you are taking antibiotics, or if you are on a photosensitive type drug, you have to be really careful how much you use them. So make sure that you're giving yourself about 2 hours, in between sessions, so that you don't do too much too fast, and you allow your body to get used to it. Now, the other thing is, remember what I told you. When you use red light therapy consistently, and you're trying to capture the attention through those cells. Hello, here we are. We're here to help. We're here to rescue. We're here to help. We're here to heal. if your body is used to seeing this or feeling this, it's not going to respond the same way. So that's why we have our different intensities, and that's why we have our flashing lights, okay? Flashing or pulsation is really, really good for those who are kind of stagnant, not really going anywhere with the recovery, whether it's through the waistline and stubborn brown fat, or whether it is, we've hit a point in which our body is not responding to the red or the infrared light. Go into a pulsation mode, because when we use a pulsation mode, it's like a party. Like all the little happy guys are trying to figure out, like, where's the party? I want to be part of the party. The party is the same as what it was. We just had to switch up the music and switch up the lights and switch up the theme. And now everybody wants to come to the party all over again with the same people. So our little cells do the exact same thing in order to attract more energy to be able to heal, changing the electrical components of our body, because our body is very electrical from a positive and negative electrical charge standpoint. And so when we flash lights, where everything is just like bleh, like it's capturing the attention of those cells, so those cells will utilize that energy and start to transform and regenerate and do great things for us. Now, what is really important to remember, though, is if you have somebody in your family or somebody in your surroundings who is epileptic, has had seizures, or has a bad response to flashing lights through their pupils, then you want to make sure not to use that feature on those people, because you can actually trigger a seizure if you're not careful around those who might have epileptic conditions or have a history of seizures, especially children and pets. So do be careful with that, because you can actually promote the onset of a seizure if you're not careful. However, very, very uncommon, especially with our residential based units. This is not waterproof. So do not put it on and go aqua jogging thinking that you're going to get red light and aqua therapy all at the same time. And same thing applies if your body is sweaty. Make sure that you wipe yourself down with a towel before you put it on. And if you do sweat during the treatment, that's fine. We just want to make sure that we're not contributing a lot of extra moisture to the belt, because it's really hard to clean. So we got to make sure we're being careful of that. Make sure never to use it under a blanket or a pillow. Why? Because we trap more heat. It's already generating a lot of heat without us actually feeling the heatness or the hot element seeping through our body. Like we don't feel it, but it's there. But when we add a blanket or a pillow to it, it traps the heat in, and we don't want to trap the heat. We already have compression here. So make sure that we're not using it under a blanket or under a pillow. Be really careful about using it around your face and your neck. It's better to use our Visicure facial shield that has the red light, blue light, and amber light therapy, as opposed to putting this on our face. We don't want to do that. They do have protective eyewear if you feel like you need to wear protective eye gear. But with this, because we're just using the LED chips, you don't have to wear the safety protection wear that you have to wear when you wear the BioHeal, or you're using the LumiCure light therapy torch, because these are LED chips, so the intensity is quite a bit different. So you're going to be okay if you don't have glasses on, but you don't want to be like staring and counting the different LEDs when they come on. Okay. Now, when it comes to the other different specifications here, the power that is involved in this is 19.6 watts, requiring a voltage of DC 12 volts dash 2 amps. And then when we're talking again, how many lights are on here, we have a total of 105 between the 660 nanometers and 850 nanometers of red light and infrared light combined. Okay. When we're talking about LED density, we're talking greater than 9 watts per foot squared. And when it comes to the wavelength specific to red light, we are using 660 nanometers wavelength. I'm going to show you what that means here in just a second. The LED expectancy. So I showed you on this one how some of the lights were not lighting up. It's because it's starting to meet its expectancy of how long it's able to work, because we use it on a daily basis in a professional setting, and it is used for residential purposes through all of you. So you're going to get 50,000 hours of LEDs combined, and ours are starting to get tired because we use it on a regular basis. Now, as far as operating temperature, because it is so hot in Arizona. My mother lives in Arizona, and they're like setting new records because of heat intensity. So when you're looking at the temperature and you're throwing in humidity factor and a heat index, we want to make sure that we're operating this in a space that's 32 degrees to 113 degrees. Not a whole lot to ask. But you don't want to be out in Montana in the middle of a blizzard outside trying to get this to work because it freezes everything. So 32 degrees to 113 degrees is the ideal operating temperature. And again, you can use it 5 to 30 minutes without having to push the restart button. If you use it on your belly for 30 minutes, and then you decide you want to use it on your back for 30 minutes, you can do that. You absolutely can do that. If you use it on your belly and you're like, man, I'm really out to like get rid of that stubborn fat, you need to wait 2 hours, at least 2 hours before you wear it on your belly again for another 30 minutes. Because we don't want to, less is better when our body is getting used to things. Okay. So again, both units offer 5 levels of intensity. Both belts offer I take that back. Both belts offer 5 levels of intensity. The AllevaRed Pro is going to be much more powerful in the lower levels, and it still maxes out at the top levels than the original. Okay. The original only has the 660 nanometer red light therapy and 850 nanometer infrared light therapy. This one has 3 different modes. So this one is going to have your infrared light, your red light, and all combined with the pulsation. Okay. So you're getting the near infrared, you're getting the flashing, you're getting red light, and 5 levels of vibration. Like you're getting a big bang in the buck for the newest model. And again, the AllevaRed Pro, if you're interested in getting the AllevaRed Pro belt today, you can click on the link provided in our show here, and you can get it for $179.99. Use the Amber 10 discount code to give you a little bit more off. And if you happen to have another discount code that Joel has sent you via text message or email, throw it in there. Let's see what you can get out of it. I never can tell you how much you're going to get off because it's different for every product, and it depends on when you buy it versus when the product was launched. So I think we covered most everything. Those of you who are used to using our red light and infrared light therapy products, you're very well familiar with what those different products can offer. But for those of you who are new to the red light therapy and photon wavelength technology, red light mode is best used for skin health and anti-aging properties. So if we start to get wrinkles here around our chest, you can put that on over the chest, almost like a tube top. So let me show you how you can do this. We're going to strap it on first, okay? Exactly where you're wanting it. Reverse it around, okay? And then pull it up, okay? Now we're getting red light therapy, infrared light therapy across our chest. If you have sun lines, wrinkles, fine lines, not happy about that. If we're wanting to get rid of some of the flubber right here around the bra strap, really good brown fat through there. So you can actually utilize that to help with mobilizing and heating up that area of storage of energy so you can actually blast it. You can actually use the energy. Now, is this a magic belt that you put it on and it's just going to do its thing without you having to follow a diet change? You don't have to follow a diet, but changing your intake, especially on sugars, and not doing any exercise. It will not make you shrink 20 pounds just by wearing the belt. So don't buy it with the intention of it shriveling off an extra 20 pounds of, I'm going to call it flubber because I don't like the word fat, because I think we need fat. Fat is healthy for us on certain levels, but the extra stuff, we need to be able to use those storage of energy, because fat is basically just extra storage of energy. Okay. And it takes a lot of energy to break down fat, but the heart rate has to be in the right place in order to be able to break that down. Once we exercise too hard, our heart rate is going so fast that it goes straight to the sugar, or it breaks down the muscle and feasts off the muscle energy because it can't break down fast enough if our heart rate is too high. So when we're doing low levels of intensity of exercise, or using the vibration platforms, or riding a bike, or under the desk treadmill, whatever exercise you have at home, lifting some weights, you can lift weights with the belt on if you really want to. Just make sure you strap that cable in so that you don't trip over it. If your heart rate gets too high, you're not breaking down fat. So it's not true calories out versus calories in. It's how you use those calories and it's how you intake those calories, because you actually have the power to be your own pharmacist and how hormones are released. And the more sugar that we have in our system, the more inflamed we become. So I'm not telling you to switch up your diet, but make sure that if you're buying the belt for fat loss, that we're making sure that we're doing it the right way and not expecting 2 to 5 hours of red light therapy and infrared light therapy every day to shrink us down, because it's not as simple as that sounds, although it sounds really good. When it comes to near infrared light, which is naked to the human eye, but we've got it on right now, that is best for decreasing inflammation and repairing tissues on a deeper level. So low back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, quad contusion, plantar fasciitis, calf strains, shoulder injury, just trying to get the shoulder tissues to heal or more mobile, getting heat down into there. This is really good for really, really deep heat. And then when we use both at the same time, which is what you see now, it's by default when it turns on. When you use both at the same time, then you're getting the best of all of it, because you're getting all the benefits all at once. So there's a little bit about that. Now, real quick, let me grab this document so that you can see exactly what red light therapy and photon light therapy means. So when it comes to the spectrum, this is our spectrum, okay? And so this is the electromagnetic spectrum. I know some of you are thinking like, how many EMFs? It's not something you have to necessarily worry about, because we're using our visible light spectrum, which is very similar to that of a light bulb, okay? And our visible light spectrum is demonstrated down here, okay? So red light is going to be at the extreme edge, and then all these other different colors of light energy actually make a difference on different parts of our body. Infrared light is going to be very similar to that of a remote control, a TV remote control. Falls below microwaves and radio waves from your TV. And then when we're looking at ultraviolet waves and X-rays, that's at the far other end of the spectrum. So we don't have to worry about that so much. But if we look and see how things are working, the ideal frequency for our different wavelengths is demonstrated here by the size of the wavelength, because it gets kind of tricky there, right? But electromagnetic waves are really good. This little graph or chart, should say chart, shows you what our different light therapy is really good for, okay? And so when it comes to red light therapy, really good for boosting collagen, fine lines, and wrinkles, okay? With blue light, which you don't have with this one, that's really good for those who have acne. You can use that in helping with bacteria that results from acne, or if you have, I have a blemish right here, but not big enough to have to worry about using blue light in order to kick it. But those, especially teenagers or those who are dealing with a lot of acne or pitting acne, actually have been through the whole Accutane process, because I actually went on a diet with keto, brought way too much fat into my body. Your skin is your greatest detox organ. So whatever your body cannot eliminate through the waste, your body eliminates it through your skin. And my body did not like the fact that I was consuming a lot of fat and a lot of protein together. And it didn't know what to do with it. So it started leaving these nasty little cysts all over my neck and my face. And so blue light therapy is really good for that. When it comes to green light therapy, which we don't have, it's really good for lightening up dark sunspots, which is also good with red light therapy, but it's also good as an anti-inflammatory. Yellow light boosts lymphatic flow, and of course, near infrared is what we are actually talking about here today. It works on pain relief, and it works on promoting cellular regeneration and collagen. So collagen works at the red light level, but it works really, really well on a deep, deep level at the near infrared light level. So there's a little bit of information for you when it comes to the different light therapies. Okay, now if you don't have any questions, then we can continue to move on. But if you have any questions, right now is the best time to ask those questions, because I'm going to be looking to see what we have coming up. We have more products that are going to be launched here in another week or so, more from our fitness more from our fitness side of things. So not therapy, but more fitness, so that you can do your home workouts. And of course, on Mondays, you've got question and answer time with Debbie. And on Wednesdays, we've got our workouts with Roseanne. And then on Fridays, most Fridays, I like to share with you new and becoming products that we're launching, or how to utilize products for a given outcome. So if you have questions on what can I do, or how can I combine these different products of mine to get the best out of everything, feel free to enter those in anytime, because we love to be able to know what it is you're seeking. There have been a tremendous amount of questions here lately about osteoporosis and which level of the vibration platform we need to utilize in order to really dial in on prevention or reversing of osteoporosis. And that is a very tricky question, because our vibration platforms are lateral, oscillating, and pulsation on a super low level of intensity as compared to what the research clinical studies are done. Those are typically done. On commercial medical grade models, which are tens of thousands of dollars, and so we don't have access to those. But I wanted to make sure and clarify that ahead of time, that if you do have questions about certain things, Debbie is like an amazing scientist, and she knows so much technology when it comes to the PEMF mats. So we just came out with the pulsed electromagnetic radiation field mats. We just released those. That is cutting edge technology. Like those mats, you're going to see more and more of that stuff coming out. Ours have been tested, third-party tested. They're safe. They're fantastic. They're cost-effective. But all these different types of technologies gets really confusing. Like, why is red light therapy better for this? Why is infrared light therapy good for this? What is good for osteoporosis? What is good for wound healing? What is good for fat loss? What is good for fine lines and wrinkles? What is good for hormone release, for making me happy? What is good for releasing cortisol and anxiety? What are the exercises that are best for back pain or sciatica? So all those great topics, we are here to serve you in all of those, and we're all experts in our fields at delivering that information to you. And all of it is evidence research based. So we're not just coming out with it out of our ears. It truly exists, and we've got the research studies to share with you if you asked, if you let us know that you want those. But aside from that, we just love being here and sharing time with you all, because when we have somebody at the other end of the screen who's having a rough day, sometimes just seeing a smile and knowing that your name's going to be called out and knowing that you're mattered, that you actually exist, really, really makes a difference in your day. Because I think a lot of us feel like we're alone at times, and we just want to, we all want to be loved. So I love the fact that you love my pictures. I love the fact that you love our stuff. Here's what I want you to remember. Just make sure that you are doing everything you can do every day to bring out the positive energy in your best self, because our head, our brain is like a television with these antennas that are allowing us to absorb positive energy or negative energy. Okay, so remember back in the 80s when we would have the TV screen and it'd be salt and pepper, and we'd have to rearrange the antenna in order to get the show to pop up because it was like not picking up the frequency, right? Our brains are much the same. And so if you're having a bad day, at the end of your day, you get to choose whether you're the dead bug on the windshield or whether you're the windshield. You get to decide whether you win your day based on your perspective. So use this positive antenna with the negative antenna. If we're having a bad day, we're absorbing all of that through the negative, right? So let that antenna fold down, and let's wave that positive antenna with flashing lights like, I need energy. Let's resort with the flashing lights party. Let's bring in positive energy, right? And when you do that, you actually change the electrical currents in your brain, in your body, which allow you to actually feel relief. You actually have control of that in your mind. Want to make sure you know, the brain does not generate the thoughts. The thoughts are in our spirit and our soul. In our mind is what generates the chemical response of the brain. So that actually, I read that in a book just 3 weeks ago. The mind, it exists in each one of us. And what we think about, 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day, 40,000 of those for most people are negative. I'm saying most because the world is massive. So you might not be one of those people, but we can't be happy, perfect every day. It's just how we perceive our surroundings, right? So let's focus on making sure that we cast in inflow, positive energy, having the party of the lights, right? And attracting that energy to ourselves through our thinking process. And then when we add the belt and the magic happens and we feel great, you have the ability to do all that at home without taking a pill or going to see somebody. You have the energy within yourself. Just cast that antenna for positive light, have the party within your mind, and let your body heal itself. Our body has the power to heal itself if we just get out of the way. Lifepro is here just to help accelerate that process or to moderate that process by giving the body the optimal environment to truly fix itself. And so, on behalf of Lifepro, I would like to say thank you for tuning in today. I do not officially have a winner. They haven't sent me the winner yet. So I will post if they grant me the opportunity to give away one of these belts or a power bank. I will make sure that we post that on our show at a later time. If you don't see that, I didn't get the text message come through. So if you don't see that today, because the belt has been out, then make sure and check back with us. Those of you who have won, I'm going to make sure that you get your product because I hold up my end of the deal, and we really, really appreciate you being here to helping out and sharing the joy and sharing the love. So I am seeing people chiming in. Let me double check one more time. I'm looking from corporate here on my phone, and I don't see anything yet. So if we have a lucky winner, what I might do is just save this one, this giveaway, and we'll combine it with next week's product launch, and we can give out 2 products. So I want to say thank you everybody for being here today. I hope you have a most magical weekend. And again, let's go out there. Let's win our days together. Let's win as a team. And remember, you got to win your day to win your week. You got to win your week to win your month. You got to win your month to win your year. And then at the end of the year, you feel good. Best version of yourself possible. Have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.